Okay, here we go for video number 3. So at the end of video number 2, we were looking at the 4 major approaches to delivering at class advocacy at the community level. Again, that was outreach, prevention, advocacy, and policy making. I know full well that I'm really giving this stuff a quick once over, so please, any questions or any need for clarification, please let me know in the discussion board. So I think it's important to keep in mind that what we're talking about here is grassroots organizing, which may be a term you've heard somewhere along the line. But the concept really is that instead of somebody coming in and providing or imposing on a given community, that the community itself, as much as they are capable, are organizing, are making decisions, and are doing the work to ultimately create the changes that they desire, that they need as a community of people. Now, this is not always, it's not always the situation where a given community can do the bulk of the advocacy for themselves. If you look at children, for instance, uh, they simply do not have the ability, the mobility. Um, it's just not feasible that that a child or a group of children are going to be able to do the same level of advocacy, whether it is decision making, letter writing, going to, speaking to the broader public, going to talk to elected officials. That's not going to happen with for the majority of children. And so in situations like that, we as the professionals may take an enhanced role, and just the broader community itself may get involved in actually advocating for a group that can't advocate for themselves. But again, the whole idea is that this comes from the bottom up, not from the top down. I'll give you a few minutes, few moments at least, to look at this slide. What we're talking about here really is about empowering people, giving people the knowledge, the access, the resources, the ability, the access, you name it, giving people the opportunity to take their place in their communities, in their state, in their nation, in this world, um, as fully invested, franchised persons who can access all of the same resources and opportunities that, say, you and I access every day without any given thought. I remember during the years when the Americans with Disabilities Act was being debated and tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and tried and eventually did succeed in getting implemented. And I would look at public buildings, a library or a courthouse or something like that. These huge marble steps, and walk up those steps with very little thought. Um, but if I was in a wheelchair or if I was blind, um, that that wouldn't be the case. And so it's just creating those infrastructural adjustments to allow people to have, again, the full range of citizenship opportunities that all the rest of us enjoy. So again, a few more moments for you to look at this slide, because I know you guys are obsessed with taking every little note down. You just remember you can take screenshots and stop the video and replay it if you need to. So it is challenging, I think, for people who work in any type of class advocacy, community organizing, grassroots work. There are certain things that you need to be extremely cautious about. Um, Being culturally sensitive, not overstepping your bounds in terms of doing for people that can do very well for themselves, even if your motives are pure and you're coming from a place of care and concern. Um, sometimes you got to pump the brakes and let people do for themselves. Um, so again, I'll let you just contemplate this. Think about an outsider coming into your group and telling you how to be whatever that group is. There are certainly challenges, and this may or may not impact your interest and or your ability to function in this type of professional capacity. There's going to be a lot of information processing, data gathering, data processing, data analysis, you name it. And then because we are talking about macro level interventions, you're almost always going to be dealing with governmental, industrial, um, international bureaucracy. Do I need to say anything else besides that lovely word? Here's our last slide because I am stretching the time limit on my video. Um, sorry. And this is that old issue of who does real work and who's doing less important work. We talk about this in policy, and here's the reality. As you look at this slide, we all are, are providing an important component of our industry's work, whether we are working at a very micro level or a macro level. It all fits together, it all supports each other. When one side suffers, the other side suffers. When one side benefits, the other side benefits. So I'm glad that as you move forward as practicing professionals, you will have moved on beyond that usums and themums mindset and realize that we're all working for the benefit of those clients, whether we're doing it one-on-one or at the highest levels of the, the systems of this world. Okay, I'm going to stop this and I will see you guys on the discussion board.